Joining me live, Tony Webber, CEO of the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries. Thanks for your time. What's your reaction to this and what the government says it will deliver?
So we've been asking governments for a long time, over 10 years, to have a fuel efficiency standard. So I think that's a really good outcome that we're making the next step. The question I have is, are we able, as you put in your intro, able to actually improve the efficiency of our vehicles by 60% in just 5 years? Now, we didn't see the modelling, and the modelling hasn't been released, as I understand it, by the government. So we'll be very interested to see that modelling. But it's going to be a big task, because any mature industry that has to improve efficiency by 60% over 5 years would obviously be daunted by the task.
So the issue that you allude to there is because we're late to the party, we want to reach the level of other countries, we do it in a shorter period of time. So when you say you want to see that modelling, would you say, regardless, it's hard to be definitive of, no car price will increase, particularly when we seem to like bigger and bigger cars in Australia, and suddenly they're going to be, worse off for a manufacturer if they're trying to balance the emissions?
Well, we'll be doing our work about what it'll mean for prices and for supply, because it is difficult to move to low emission technologies for large vehicles. And last year, 35% of vehicles sold in Australia were either utes or large SUVs. So if
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And if people are going to buy those products in the future, we need to actually make sure that they can be affordable. So that's the question.
What do we know about people buying them? Is this families getting a slightly bigger car, recreational weekend? Is it people that just go, maybe I'll get a slightly bigger car because it doesn't cost more? Like, how much will it disrupt lives, I guess, if they are a bit more expensive?
Well, it's an interesting question. Like, people ask me this all the time, but Australians have driven large cars since the 1960s at least. So what we've done in recent times have moved from large sedans to large SUVs and to some extent dual cab utes. So I don't think it's actually a change in behaviour, it's just a change in market segment.
Okay, so will that be a bit of a surprise for people on maybe prices and what's a bit cheaper and so on, but you think there'll still be a car they like? I guess no one wants to be told, don't buy that, it's more expensive because the government's making it that way, but how'd you characterise it?
Well, we'll have to see the modelling, but it might be a challenge to actually produce vehicles that meet these stringent targets, especially as we go out beyond 26 and 27. The targets become very stringent, and the current car park that we sell, the cars we sold last year, certainly wouldn't meet it. So it's a question of whether we can bring that technology, and given that we are a relatively small portion of the world market, we're less than 1.5%, we're right-hand drive, it's going to be difficult to necessarily source those cars and bring them to Australia at a price point Australians can afford. That's what the work needs to be done. I hope the government's done that. We haven't seen it.
Have you asked to see it?
Well, we have, yes.
Okay, and what do they say when you say we'll see the modelling?
Hopefully we'll see it shortly.
You're still hopeful?
I am hopeful. Surely there'll be that level of transparency. And the government's paper yesterday talks a lot about fuel savings. People saving $1,000 a year. But anyone who owns a car knows it goes beyond fuel savings. It's the total cost of ownership. So where I'm talking about there is maintenance, insurance, sure fuel, but the big two, purchase price and depreciation. And I would certainly hope that that's come into the equation for the government.
Yeah, that if you've bought something, suddenly it's not worth as much afterwards. All right, Tony Webber, appreciate your time. We'll continue to follow this as we hope that everyone gets the modelling soon enough.